This is Xi Jinping's first visit to Europe in 5 years, and he's chosen to begin in France. So let's start there. Why France?
I believe that given his connection to the French President Macron, Xi Jinping is trying to find a more solid footing in the country that plays such a prominent role within the European Union. So, on the one hand, Macron has been one of the strongest proponents of sanctions vis a vis China. But then at the same time, Macron is saying very explicitly that Europe should not follow the US blindly and that it should develop its own approach vis a vis China. I believe that one of the issues in Europe's so far unsuccessful efforts to come up with a comprehensive 27 plus 1 strategy vis a vis China is a strong sense of anti Americanism. There are a lot of actors in Europe whose actions are driven by anti-Americanism and who just seek to pursue policy that is divergent from that pursued by Washington D.C.
Given Macron's concern about the war in Ukraine, it's expected that during this trip he will press Xi to use his influence with Russia to rein in that war. Do you think that Macron has any chance of success in doing this?
I don't think that Macron will be successful in convincing Xi Jinping to stop Chinese support for Russia amid the ongoing full scale invasion. The ongoing war is, to put it simply, a good economic deal. It's a good business deal for China, which remains one of the major intermediary markets that Russia uses to avoid international sanctions.
After France, Xi will go to Belgrade, Serbia. He'll arrive on May 7th, a very significant date. It's the 25th anniversary of the NATO bombing of the Chinese embassy in that city during the Yugoslavia wars of 1999. Remind us a little bit about what happened in that incident and why it's so significant to China both then and now.
NATO was carrying out bombings of Yugoslavia. It was an Allied force operation, and five US bombs hit the embassy of the People's Republic of China in Belgrade. It was a tragic event as it resulted in death of three media professionals. The event was a mistake, and therefore, immediately after the event, President Bill Clinton issued an apology. At the same time, it was definitely an event that drove a wedge in relations between the United States and China. The events in 1999 during the Balkan Wars have really consolidated the enmity of Chinese communist officials towards NATO. Currently, during the ongoing full scale Russian invasion in Ukraine, NATO is very much on the radar of political elites in Beijing.
Big picture, do you expect anything major to come out of this visit to Europe?
I don't expect any major conclusions. I think that so far the efforts to establish a productive dialogue between China and the European Union have been the dialogue of the deaf. If anything, maybe we will see that European leaders were successful, and particularly that Macron was successful in convincing Xi Jinping not to retaliate very severely against the ongoing investigation into subsidies for Chinese electric vehicles. But that remains to be seen whether it's successful. I expect little progress.